My name is Marisa Ewers. I came over to England 4 years ago. I'm from Germany and I've been playing professional football for over 14 years now. I started in Germany, played for a couple of clubs and then joined Birmingham City and then now Aston Villa 1 season ago. I'm happy because I'm also doing analysis and operations for them. And I'm currently studying and doing my master's in sports directorship, which is a great next step for me.
And that leads me straight into my first question. What drove you towards joining the sporting directorship program at BSI?
So I've had a look online and the BSI program came up, and I think it looks really professional and interesting for current athletes, but also for people from all other industries, really. Also the fact that the PFA support athletes studying or in education, and also Aston Villa, my current club, they support that kind of side because they have the program student of the game. So for me, it would make sense to go the next step because I've done my master's in sports management and the business of football. So I thought sports directorship now could be, the next step, and I'm excited to be part of it.
And obviously, you literally joined just a few weeks ago the program. How do you want it? How do you see it benefiting your career going forward, especially once you obviously hang up your boots and stop playing?
I mean, right now, I think it's brilliant that you can still play and you can still work. And it's obviously due to a part-time course that you meet up with the people in Manchester and you do a lot of tasks and challenges there, which is great. And then you can go back into your environment and try to implement what you've learned so far and can use your networking and your contacts to grow, basically. And I think it's great if you still play and you care about your transition and you do as much as you can alongside football and your playing career. And I think that will help me massively when I want to stop playing football.
And obviously, you mentioned networking there and contacts. How important do you think that is when working in sport to have that kind of contacts book to go on and open doors and create opportunities for yourself?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, contacts within sports and especially football is very important. And our tutors and everyone keeps saying, please do networking and talk to your alumni or your peers. And that has been really beneficial, to be fair, because you hear from other clubs, or even if it's an NFL club, you have people from different businesses, and that will help you to widen your knowledge and your network. Yeah.
And obviously on the program, there are delegates from all different types of sport and roles within sport. How important do you think that is in terms of giving yourself a really thorough grounding understanding of sport as a 360 thing?
Yeah, I think especially in football, sometimes you can get trapped or stuck in your bubble, really. And I think that helps you to look outside of football, but also sports, outside of sports. We have someone from the bank or other businesses, and I think that helps you to widen that knowledge and get a different view on business, how a business is run and led.
And you've obviously been there a very short time, but has there been any particular maybe highlights so far or something which you think already, wow, that's going to really improve my knowledge or my skill set?
Yeah, I think we've already had brilliant people, and I think Damon Hughes was great. He came in and did a presentation about the winning mentality and the examples he brought and he presented was great because you could identify yourself with this. And I think in general they've had really good people and really good speakers for what could bring value to your environment and what you can take forward.
And I was looking obviously now at Villa, then previously when he was at Birmingham, and and Bayer Leverkusen, you've always worked at those clubs in kind of a scouting or an analysis style role. And obviously that's educating yourself throughout as is now. How much emphasis and importance do you put on education throughout a professional sports career to then obviously lead to that second career when you finish playing?
Yeah, to make a transition easier, I think it's brilliant that those clubs, Bayer Leverkusen or Birmingham City, even now Aston Villa, support that kind of side, especially in women's football, because we definitely have to have an eye on our educational side, because you never know when football is over. And if I've always wanted to better myself alongside football, and I had that drive, and I think it's really important. And I would like to say that to every girl that wants to start playing professional football: do something alongside your career, because it just helps you get through life, and especially after football makes it much easier.
And also, you mentioned your previous degrees you've taken, what you're doing now at BSI, alongside the analysis work you were doing at the football clubs. Is that all just kind of giving you a better understanding of the sport in general and how it works? And do you have a vision for where you want to go and where you want to be when you stop playing?
Yeah, my analysis work and operations work at Aston Villa right now, or in the past as a scout, helps me to understand different departments of a club and of a business, basically. And if I want to go towards a sporting director role, I think it's really important to get an idea or know or gain experience in different departments. And the analysis side also helps me as a player, because I am leading opposition analysis, and that obviously, if I study more opposition, then it helps me to be a good leader and captain on the pitch. So it works both sides, really. And
let's say, especially with that analysis learnings you're doing during the week, does that, when you're on the pitch on a Saturday or a Sunday, your understanding of the game and how you read the game, do you see it maybe differently to other players because you have that extra education, if you like, in your locker?
I mean, at Aston Villa, every single player has to watch opposition as well, and to study maybe one individual player. But I've done the whole team and identified their weaknesses and strengths and ways to exploit them, really. And that should help me to implement that on the pitch, and also to give that on to other players and help them in training and also in the game, which is great for me, because I play in the midfield area, center mid, and I think in that position you're supposed to communicate a lot anyway and lead. So that just helps me a lot, yeah.
And obviously you're playing the WSL now. You've previously played in the Bundesliga. Do you see any differences in terms of their competitiveness, or maybe the quality of the players, or the teams, or the setups around the teams? And then similarly on top of that, how those clubs in that league then feeds into the England and the Germany national teams. Honestly, they're very successful national teams at the minute. Yeah,
I mean, Germany has been a very successful team in terms of their national team, and also the Bundesliga has been quite competitive over the years. But I think 2011, the World Cups in Germany has helped to Germany boost in terms of the fans and all that. But then at some point, I think we missed to invest long term and to increase marketing, sponsoring. What you see right now over here in England, that the history might be not as long. We've only been more competitive the last 2-3 years, and now this year especially it's got very competitive, because we got players from all over the world now. But I think in terms of investment and support over here, you attract more sponsors, marketing increases, merchandising, so and the quality of players get better automatically, because they get exposed to more competitiveness on the pitch. So that helps the England Lionesses as well to be more successful. And you can see that now when you watch World Cup games or the national teams, that technically, physically, tactically, they've increased a lot, and it will be difficult for Germany to keep being that competitive what they've done like years ago.
And obviously you mentioned it there, but this summer, every day seemed to be like there was more and more talent come over to the WSL. A lot of American players obviously have come over this summer as well. Do you see the WSL kind of mirroring the Premier League in terms of over the years it may be becoming the kind of the go-to league for players from around the world?
Yeah, I mean, right now we also have the COVID situation that a couple of players might be out of contracts or their leagues in other countries won't go ahead. So this year, a lot of Americans were able to come over to England, but that helps the whole league to increase their profile and the awareness of the league, basically, attractiveness, because they also show our games now in America or even Germany, and I think that helps to grow the league. And I think this league will definitely, maybe even now already, will be a league to go to for players from all over the world, because you can already see Australians come over, a lot of Americans, as you said, and I think in terms of competitiveness, this might be already the strongest league in the world.
And just one more question from me to kind of add on to that. How do you see the kind of current COVID situation impacting, especially the women's game over here at the minute with no crowds? Again, there's a window of opportunity there, maybe sadly being lost because it was gaining so much momentum in the league, and then now there's no one being able to watch it. Do you see any potential long-term impacts on the game at all, or can it obviously weather the storm?
I mean, maybe not for every team it was easy to continue training and playing with all the rules being in place, but EFA also tried to support teams. But I think it's very important that we, don't get too that we don't forget about teams that don't have that much of a budget or something, that they need maybe a bit more support than the first 4 or 5 teams, the big teams, big clubs. But I think it's great that we go back to playing, and that they show our games now domestically, but also in other countries more and more. And I think that will be important to keep the game going. And I just hope that the teams, the clubs still invest into women's football, because it has been such a good development so far, and it's important that they keep going and say yes to women's football.
No, Marisa, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.